Moving on to our second speaker of the night, I'd like to introduce Arjun Chawla, who is a junior communication major. Arjun transferred from Hofstra University at the beginning of this semester, and tonight, Arjun's going to talk about something that I think we all are in pursuit of, regardless of our major and regardless of our desires. Please welcome Arjun, everybody.
So before I get started, I want to ask you a question. What do you want out of life? And feel free just to shout out your answers. Food. All right, All right, among other things, I heard happiness. And that's great, because that's exactly what I'm here to talk to you about today, being happy. Now, the reason I want to talk to you about being happy is because when someone asks me, where are you from? First I get a little headache, and then I answer, it's complicated. Because I'm not for one place. Growing up, I was born in Virginia, then I went to Michigan, then I went to India, then I went to Singapore, I'm not done yet, then I went to Michigan again, and then I went to New York for college, and my parents decided to move to Wellesley, Massachusetts, and then I transferred to UMass. So you can understand what I mean when I say it's complicated. So that's the underlying reason why I want to talk about being happy, because when change presents itself in our life, we tend to treat happiness as a destination and not the journey. And we should be treating happiness as the journey, not the destination. So before I go on any further, let's talk about the science behind happiness. Now, a professor at UC Riverside, her name is Dr. Sonia, she came up with a theory. She said that 50% of our happiness is genetic. And what she means is that we're all born with a genetic baseline. And this baseline is essentially a baseline. And whenever we feel happiness, our happiness increases. Whenever we feel remorse, our happiness decreases. So let me put that in perspective. Let's say you have a significant other, and you and your significant other just became official. Your happiness is through the roof. You're jumping on your bed, you're so happy, and as a result, your happiness is through the roof. But when your significant other becomes a part of your life, then your happiness goes back to its genetic baseline. Now let's assume you and your significant other break up. Then you feel really sad, and you go into remorse. Then your happiness decreases. And as a result, you go into remorse. So eventually you get over your significant other, and then your happiness goes back to its baseline. That is the genetic portion of your happiness. Then we have 10% circumstantial. What that means is it's your location, your income, and your social status. So income and your location are kind of self-explanatory. But your social status is not how many friends you have on Facebook or how many friends you have in real life. It's where do you see yourself in your friend group? Do you see yourself as someone who's a leader or someone who's a follower? And are you happy, or do you want to change that? So that's the social status aspect of the circumstantial. And the last part is intentional activity. This is the stuff you have control of, and it is your day-to-day activities. So that's just a little bit about the scientific portion of happiness. Now, how many people here believe that money buys happiness? Before you saw the screen. How many people here believe that money did not buy happiness? Again, before you saw the screen. Well, like the screen says, it is a myth, because as long as your basic needs are being met, more money will not make you happier. If you don't believe me, go talk to Bill Gates, and he'll tell you that money doesn't make you happy. If you believe that money does not buy happiness, then go talk to someone who has no means, and he'll tell you that money would make him happy. So as long as your basic needs are being met, more money will not make you happier. Now, everything I've said so far is pretty general. I can apply it to someone who is in college, someone who is in the workforce, or someone who's retired. But what about us? What about us in college? Today, in our college environment, we have so much academically to do. We have papers, midterms, finals, and all the homework that comes in between. So how do we be happy in college? As a result of everything we have to do academically, we tend to treat happiness as a destination. Or, more commonly, we say, I'll be happy when this week is over and I can go to that party. And I know a lot of people do it. I do it by myself. So what I want to do is I want to change your mindset a little bit and tell you you can be happy today. You can be happy during finals week. Now, what I don't mean is that you're reading your textbook, and all of a sudden you realize this talk I gave, and you're like, that really handsome guy at UMass, at Project X, told me I should be happy right now. I'm going to close this textbook, and I'm going to go play with my friends. Please don't do that. You're going to fail, and then you're going to blame me, and I'm going to feel really bad. So what I mean is, in your day, find pockets of happiness. Find time in your day, in the morning, evening, or whenever, to find pockets of happiness. Now, I'll give you an example. You're probably like, you're just preaching. You haven't done this yourself. But I have. When I was at Hofstra and I was taking my finals, I like to play the sport. I don't know if you've heard of it or not. It's called basketball. I'm obsessed with basketball. I know it doesn't look like it. I am kind of short. But I love playing basketball. So me and my friend came up with an idea. We would play basketball in the morning, study all day, and then play basketball at the end of the day. And when we put that into effect, we realized studying was a lot more fun and a lot more easier because we found ways to be happy. Now, again, pockets of happiness does not mean binge watching Breaking Bad or Walking Dead or whatever TV show you like. It means improving your relationships, working on skills, and having a desire to help the community or help others. If you do that, I promise you, your pockets of happiness will be so much more efficient in helping you be happy as a person. Because in the short run, money and status and image, all of these things will make you happy in the short run. But in the long run, like I said, the desire to help others, relationships, and your skills will make you truly happy. Now, don't get me wrong. I fall into this trap of focusing on image all the time. If I get up in the morning and I have a really, really good hair day, like I'm not even kidding, my hair's looking fantastic, I'm walking around campus like I'm John Travolta from the movie Grease. I know, and today's a good hair day, so I was like, yes, perfect timing. So I fall into that trap all the time. But in the long run, that's not going to make us happier. What's going to make us happier are the relationships we have. And that is essentially what the pockets of happiness are all about. Now, before I move any further, I want to say one last thing before I tell you the secret to being happy. And there is a secret, so, the suspense is real. And the secret to being, or not the secret, what I want to tell you is that we are all in college. And no matter what anybody says, none of us have it easy. We're all just trying to figure out who we are. So no matter what happens, no matter how far you seem to be from where you want to be, have an unrelenting belief that you will somehow make it, that the long road has its purpose, and that the things that you desire may not happen today, but they will happen. Don't stop believing. Because I can promise you that quote, it's a quote, I didn't come up with it myself. I like to think I'm smart, but I'm not that smart to come up with a quote like that. But that quote got me through my moves from Singapore to Michigan, Michigan to New York, and New York to UMass. And I promise, if you don't stop believing that you'll make it, you will. So, with that, are you ready to hear the secret of happiness? All right, there are 20,000 kids roaming around campus, going to classes, trying to figure out what the secret to happiness is. So I'm going to need a lot more enthusiasm. The secret to being happy is you. Oh, okay. See, I have to tell you, that was like my worst nightmare that you would say that. But thank you for making that reality. But what I mean is, don't be down about it. You are responsible for your own happiness. There is no secret medicine or anything that can make you happy. You are responsible for your own happiness. If you want to be happy, go do the things you love. Go work on skills, work on your relationships, both platonic and romantic for that matter. Just be happy and do the things you love. And I promise you, if you try to put this into effect tomorrow, you'll be so much happier and you realize that I was right. And you can tell me so, because that was really bad the way I opened it up. So I promise you, if you do the things I told you, you will be a lot happier. And with that, thank you for being an amazing audience. And I will see you around campus.